Hello folks, Martin Mouse is here. Today I would like to show you the tool called Sifon for Sitecore. For those who don't know, this is a must-have tool for local Sitecore development. This is kind of Swiss Army knife. And if you haven't come across Sifon, please keep watching because you will be amazed how the tool is awesome in terms of local installation, in terms of plugins, in terms of everything. So to start with, there is the website for the project, sifon.uk. And this is a comprehensive website with the features, with the documentation, with the instructions, with video guides. What we are interested at this stage is download section. So my favorite way of installing Sifon would be using Chocolatey tool. You may just copy this command, choco install Sifon. You don't need to specify version, it will pick up latest and run it. It will do all the rest of job. You can also download executable, which I done. So this is the latest version. Let's go on and install Sifon. Right, so this is quite quick. Finish. Let's close this. You will see Sifon icon on the desktop, and that's all you need to run it. On the first run, you will see this welcome screen. Please read it through. It shares very valuable information, and the first thing you would want to do is prerequisite check. Sifon requires a certain amount of dependencies for it to run successfully. They are all listed in the screen. Green means they are installed, and red means you need to add them. So please select all the reds and go on with the installation. And when prereqs complete, you will see they all show up in green, which is an indicator you can go on with the rest of installation. So click on the Stand button, and here you see the main screen of Sifon application. Lots of menus, lots of information. What's that? So this is the totally fresh system. It doesn't have lots of software, and you may know for Sitecore you have SQL Server and Solr as the requirements. So let's go and install them one by one. So let's go install Solr. We see a nice dialog here, and there is a drop down with the versions Solr has. So it scans now, it doesn't find any Solr in the system, and now it suggests which version would you like to install. So all the compatible versions are listed here. For 10.3 I need 8.11.2, and that's the one I choose. So click install and wait. You don't need to get more Solrs here, but you can install as many as you want. Every single version of Solr from the menu, you can go on with that and install them on in parallel. I go to install Sitecore, and the biggest news is that with 10.3 there is much more demand in XAMPP topology, and I listened to all your requests and I decided to include support for 10.3 XAMPP as well. So now you can choose between XP and XAMPP, and for the sake of this experiment I will still demonstrate XP, but with XAMPP things are getting pretty simple. So the good news about Sifon, another very good feature which I introduced, is set defaults. So clicking set defaults shows all the defaults and pre-populates the input boxes for you in that manner that it will be functional. Of course you are welcome to change them as for your convenience, but if you can leave things as they are, it will work okay. It pre-populates Solr, the relevant version we install. It also pre-populates SQL Server, but we haven't installed SQL Server. So we have a button here, and clicking the button allows you to get through SQL Express installation. You will get free local instance, again defaults button, which pre-populates it with instance name and password. That's what we want. We click install and wait. That's also done, and I want to emphasize that everything you see and install here, it comes from the internet, and Sifon magically knows the required packages, knows how to download them, knows how can install them, how to configure and make them work together. And especially if you are in non-development role in your current work, you, for example, are marketer or business analyst, or maybe just a person not related to Sitecore but who wants to try that, and especially dealing with containers and Docker is not your piece of cake, but you want to get quick result, Sifon is the magical tool for you that will make it all work for you. So we have now Solr, let's test it. It's there. Let's test SQL Server, it's there. Don't forget to place your license. In my case, I do have license on my C drive, so I'm okay with that. It's there. Admin password, which is B in my case, but you're welcome to change it to whatever you want. You can also install Sitecore not on the local machine, but over network. You will, in that case, you will specify the machine IP address or name, username, and password. This will use WinRM in order to make remote calls with PowerShell, but it magically works as well. In my case, I'm going to install to the local machine, so I don't need to do anything else. I'm installing 10.3xp with all these parameters. SQL Server Solar is with me already, so I'm ready to go. What happens now is Sifon goes to Sitecore website, it identifies the exact installer, it will download it all, it will unpack, it will pre-configure, it will click all the settings for you, and it will install it. Another thing that I have set by default is the checkbox for prerequisites, and that means all the dependencies that you need for running Sitecore, all that stuff will be also downloaded and set up. But you'll see it in a minute. You see, this is the screen where it comes through prerequisites. It will get them one by one, download and install. Web platform, for example. Another thing, if you see these red lines with errors, you should not worry about that, because Sifon is wise enough to address these issues, and just don't bother with that. Your installation will work, and I can assure you that it will work. So just relax and enjoy the installation. And now Sifon installs XP platform itself. So it shows you it goes with XP0, and this is the output of the full installer, web deploy, and all the packages. For the sake of the speed, I do cut the waiting time, so you don't need to wait for the whole 10 minutes. It will show up in the video a little bit quicker. And it's there. Sitecore installation complete, and the system is up and running here. So let's go to xp.local Sitecore. This is the website I used for installation. This is coming up from default. And let's see. I go to identity setter, give it admin B, which was my default password. And here we go, dashboard of 10.3. But what I will do is take you a little bit further. I want to show you the power of Sitecore plugin, Sifon plugin system. So if you go to plugins menu and click get Sifon plugins, it will pull the plugins from this GitHub repository. And plugin is basically a PowerShell script which you can write and configure to do pretty everything in the context of current profile. I have only one profile, which is XP, and basically XP is my XP I have just installed. With Sifon you can do multiple installations, so now I can progress with installing XM, nothing stops me from. I can do different versions with different solars, with different SQL servers. I can do it in different network machines, whichever I want. And between all of these installations I will be switching just by jumping with selection in this drop down. So as for the moment I have one XP, and any plugin that I run from this menu will be applied against this instance. And let me show you a few plugins which I made myself. So let's make fun and go install Horizon. So if you know the news, you will say, how comes that Horizon is not any longer supported on 10.3, but if you have Horizon for 10.2 like I have here, I can just simply install it into 10.3 with one click in Sifon. So easy. Right. Another plugin you definitely would want to have on your machine is SXA. So for 10.3 I have only one option which is compatible is 10.3, so I select this one. And Sifon is wise enough, it knows that SXA of that particular version is dependent on Sitecore PowerShell extension version 8.4. Yeah, and Sifon, it will just go and download everything it requires and install it. As easy as that. Probably the last thing I want to show you is publishing service. We have 7.0 that works with 10.3. Again, let's go on. It will get publishing module, which is required for your XP or XM. It will download service itself. It will configure and install service itself. And once it's done, we will give it a test. All right. Let's go back to Sitecore, and what I need to get here is desktop. No, actually, what I'll do is I'll refresh my dashboard first. I want to show you Horizon that is there, and here is it. Horizon on 10.3, and you see it works pretty well. It opens up. You will see the default page here. Yeah, editable as normal. Let's go now to the desktop. What I want you to show here is that SXA and publishing service, they do work. So the first thing is here I do insert and I see tenant folder, which means SXA there, because you will not see tenant folder unless you have SXA installed. Another thing is that I'm now on master database, and I go to the only item I have here. I modified, let's say, with triple exclamation marks. I'll save it, and I go to publish item dialog. But you see this is different dialog. The one is coming from publishing module, but I'm okay with the settings. Let's click it, done. We can even open publishing dashboard to see the job has passed through. Yeah, that's what I want. Now I go to web database to see if my item is modified. And it is. I have these exclamation marks on web database, so it's perfectly there. And that's it. Coming back to the plugins, the idea is that everyone can write a plugin with some business value for that particular task, which the person is doing at the moment, and everyone is welcome to share their plugins and their tasks completed with Sifon.plugin repository. I am open to pull requests, and imagine a case when 100 of people, they solve their tasks and end up with 100 of PowerShell scripts, which are plugins, and share them through the pull request. That ends up with a plugin system having 100 of valuable plugins, and 100 people will benefit each from these 100 plugins, which I think that's the whole purpose of Sitecore community collaboration. So play around it, you will find lots of useful features. Sifon also is a backup, remove, restore tool, and there's lots of other things you will find helpful. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.